Pod in the City is a Sex in the City podcast and thus contains adult themes and explicit content. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Pod in the City. I'm Amanda.
And I'm John.
We're two besties who bonded over Sex in the City in college.
And now, 20 years later, we're reliving it like it's our very first time. Season 2, Episode 6, The Cheating Curve. Carrie and Mr. Big get back together. Charlotte goes out for a night with some power lesbians, and Miranda finds herself competing with pornography.
Oh,
wow. What a recap. And wonderfully, I thought for about 15 minutes that we were on episode 7. And I'll tell you, Amanda, episode 7 was better than this one.
I know. Well, I've already watched ahead a couple. And also,
I like episode 7. It's pretty good. But this one I do always remember because of the Love Tunnel.
What?
That's like one of the clubs they go to. I think it's called the Love Tunnel. Oh, and it's goes down like the hallway that looks like a vagina.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they had a lesbian storyline in this episode, and boy, howdy, did they ever capitalize on that.
Now, there were some interesting bits because I believe it was last week, or perhaps the week before, one of the fucking weeks, they all run together, that we were talking about Miranda going to get her new apartment. And she mentions that she has lots of shoes. And there's been some back and forth of people saying, it was because it was the trope and whatever. But in this episode, they said power lesbians and their shoes, something. So I was like, oh, okay. Is that a power lesbian? I don't know. I mean, I have experience with lesbians, but definitely not like this type of lesbian. Mine's more like the outdoorsy lesbians.
Yeah, but your mom is also not she's not a butch lesbian. She's not she's like in the middle. She's not a Ring of Keys lesbian, if you will. She's right in the middle.
But
she's not lipstick lesbian. She's just kind of fabulous in her own Kathy way.
Yeah, I think she's anyway.
She is. Well, let's blow
you guys. Hi.
Really hi everyone.
Welcome. It is the Pod in the City podcast. We're here covering all things Sex in the City. This week we're on episode 6, but of course of season 2. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, hit the like.
Engage, baby.
Comment,
engage.
Please. We'd love it. In fact, ask us questions. I'd love to respond to the comments with if you ask us questions. Even if it's like, why is that guy's voice so annoying? Or, things like that. Also, if you do really feel our vibe, you could join our Patreon. It's patreon.com/podinthecity. It's $6 a month, and you get extra bonus content. Like we record whole extra episodes, you get extra episodes every week. You also get early access to all of our ish.
And ad-free, bitch. And also, this week we're doing Broad City.
Broad City, baby.
City Girls and the Golden Girls. And I think we're edging out Designing Women. No one seems to mind if we get rid of it. So
what we kind of do over there is we're learning what we're going to do. It's more of a free-for-all of what do we feel like talking about? And then we're like, okay, here's the show we're going to talk about. It's just more of getting more of us, baby. So if you are interested, check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/podinthecity.
This week it's Broad City, season 1, episode something, and it's called
7,
Hurricane Wanda. And it's a nice little bottle episode where there's a hurricane and they all gather together at Abby's apartment, and it's really fun. And they're all funny. I'm always surprised with how good and solid every episode is.
It's also the one with the pooping. Getting rid of the poop, right?
Oh, hilarious.
So yeah, check it out, y'all. You can also join if you're just watching on YouTube. You can join for $10 a month, and you can watch all the videos and basically see all the shit from there too.
It's the same thing as Patreon, but not as scary as Patreon if you're more of a YouTube.
And then that's about it. Follow us on Insta.
Yeah. And at the end of the episode, we're going to read an anonymous sex story, something sent in by one of y'all. So you can email those stories to patcpod@gmail.com. We never judge. We always are fascinated by your stories. We find them relatable, and we won't say your name unless you explicitly tell us you want to be named.
Agreed.
Sure.
Now,
Shall
my
we
mic
move on?
might sound slightly different now than it did the first 5 seconds because I'm an idiot and I unplug shit and then I forget to plug it back in, and then when I plug it back in anyway. So if
You're
you can hear
good. Let's get into some news
just
and
like
gossip,
default.
shall we?
Yes. It's been a long week, babies.
Wait, what actually happened in your week? Because from what it sounds like, you just didn't get to go to the movies yesterday. And I bought a car. And there's us being like, this week was really, really tough for me.
I've been actually working quite a bit. My
You have
other
a
job,
job?
I am a realtor. I've been working a lot. I also have like we have a family cabin that we also rent out on Airbnb for when we're not
Yeah, I've
staying
never
at it.
been to that cabin. I don't think you've ever invited me to that cabin.
Well, we got it in like 2004, and I didn't really go there with a lot like that. I don't know.
It's okay.
I think there's a lot of people who. Anyway, whatever. Now, and my mom's out of town, so I'm actually doing her work, my work, and then summer is the most or the
and it's
busiest
hot.
time.
Let's just say it. It's hot.
Summer is also the busy time for our cabin because it's hot here, so people go up to the mountains. So I've just been having like, I love our podcast. I love doing all this. I love all of the support you guys give. But I do have to do my real job to like make my to pay my bills.
I don't think anyone's expecting you to.
I know. I would, what I'd love is one day if this could have like 1 million subscribers somehow. I don't know if 1 million people like want to
what I like? We're at
but
least keeping our episodes to like an hour now. And when we first started, they were like close to 2 hours each. So that has seriously improved my quality of life. Now
well, we've been streamlining, which I think is good. I think it is better to, if we are purporting this to be a Sex and the City podcast, I guess we should talk about Sex and the City and less. And also, you guys have heard about our time in Godspell enough. So it's just.
Well, we can never talk about it enough.
We still do need to make a full bonus oeuvre about the Godspell experience. Like the 3 episodes.
Yeah, that'll be a standalone episode.
We should get Brad. We should get interviews.
He would happily do it.
I love this.
He would so happily do it.
Now back to Sex and the real news things here.
First of all, I did check just now, hot off the presses. I'm like, has there been any actual news stories that have come out? And of course, the one that I found, it's like 3 days ago. I'm like, ooh, 3 days ago. This better be juicy. Everything we know now about the season 3 event, just like that. And it's like, will there be a season 3? Yes.
Okay, those are like
Screen Rant.
I fucking hate going to ads or to like things like that because I'm like, I'm actually looking for real information.
Yeah, there's nothing, but there is some more pictures. What is this account that you followed? HBO. It's like unofficial, but it's like it says it on one of these pictures. Here,
it's some.
It's like and just like that HBO on Instagram. It's not like a check
just like that HBO on Instagram, and they do they post like updates from like the set photos. I also did see a TikTok this week of where they showed them rehearsing a scene where they were just like wearing plain clothes.
I think I saw that too.
Yeah, and then it showed them do the actual scene, which I thought was cool.
So we got this picture of Carrie. I like it.
I feel this is similar to something either we've seen or she has worn this. Like this gives me.
She has on like a kind of a sheer button-up pearl necklace tucked in, which is kind of her thing lately. Long sheer shirt that looks like it has like the subway maybe printed on it. I think that's what I was thinking. It's like
the subway map. Like,
yeah, and then overalls, kind of baggy overalls that are ruched in the middle. This would look good on only people that are a size 0, like Sarah just compared.
And they're splatter painted.
Yeah,
now,
I really
love
little
these.
tie.
I love
I
this.
love, and she has little, of course, heels on. I think she looks so fucking good.
I don't
love
like
it.
the ruching in the middle, though, I'll say.
Well, again, that wouldn't look good on anyone except for her. But I think
we have Cynthia Nixon. I feel like these outfits are kind of giving me old school Sex in the City.
Yes, because this is Miranda's color. She's wearing autumn, orange, and kind of beige brown. And it looks good on her.
I am going to be an optimist. I'm going to try to not be negative. I believe that season 3, check back when season 3 airs and it's a shit show. But I, at this moment, on July 8th, 2024, I am going to say it. I believe that season 3 of And Just Like That will be the best season of And Just Like That so far. And I feel like it will be the most Sex and the City-ish of all.
Now, the thing that maybe leads us to believe that is, for one, we got Rosie O'Donnell.
This is what I'm saying.
Mother.
We got Rosie. We got
now a new one.
And now we have Jennifer Lewis, the mother of Black
Jennifer Lewis. There was something that was, God, what was I watching? Shit. It was actually, it might have been, oh no, it couldn't have been. I think I was watching it was Friends. It was season 1 of Friends. And it's where Monica is talking to like her coworker. They're like chefs. And it's this Black woman. And I was like, God, why do I recognize her? But she's very young. And then I looked up and it was Jennifer Lewis, but in like 1996. And it was so clearly her, but it's just, I wasn't used to seeing her a little more dressed down.
Jennifer Lewis has been like out there lately because, you know, she's the voice of Mama Odie in Princess and the Frog.
That's right. Yeah.
They have the new Princess and the Frog ride, Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And then recently I just saw Jennifer Lewis at Essence Fest, and she was giving a speech about how important it is to vote and vote for who, you know, you would expect her to want to stay to vote for. And
but here's her with LTW.
Dubs, and I think that they still hate LTW because they keep putting her in like the most
we
big,
don't hate
ugly.
LTW. They do.
I think her character could have gone the way of Naya and Che Diaz easily. Except I haven't seen season 2, so yet.
Now, you think that she might be playing LTW's mother. I just looked it up. Jennifer Lewis is 67. So I guess that could work. She just looks so young that they could be.
I feel like she's going to play her mother. Or
we haven't met her mother yet.
No, we met his mother.
LTW is supposed to be what, like 47-ish? Because she got pregnant. So she's like in her 40s.
I completely think she'll be her mother.
Okay,
which I love and I need. That'll probably spice up LTW's storyline. Okay, again, correct me if I'm wrong here, but maybe in season 2, does something interesting happen with LTW?
Oh, I just actually said a spoiler there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but don't worry about it.
When I literally didn't even hear it. Oh, that she's 47. Oh, something about a baby. Why I just glossed over that. She has a baby?
No. But she gets pregnant anyway. Spoiler for that. But anyway,
again, I'm gonna say Sex in the City and Just Like That doesn't need pregnancy storylines. We don't need that in a show about like mature women.
Do you know that there's randomly a storyline where Loretta Devine, who plays Richard's wife in Grey's Anatomy, the chief, and she's Richard have Alzheimer's. Where's Richard?
Oh, Loretta Devine pops up in a lot of shit.
Yeah. Oh, she won an Emmy for that. But there's a story where she comes in, like they've broken up, and she comes in and she is pregnant, and she's like 56 years old, and she loses the baby in that episode.
Okay, now tell me, watch the season of Real Housewives of New York where Ramona pretends that she thinks she's pregnant.
Okay, girl.
And she takes a pregnancy test like on a boat where they're having Luann's engagement party. It is the most asinine bullshit. And people are like, oh, you're not having your period? I wonder why, Ramona. I wonder why you're not. I'm not shaming people who are Wow. Okay.
I think we saw this already, right? Kristen Davis in like kind of a black leather top, belted with kind of a Chanel looking skirt. And
I'm hoping the shoes for the actual filming are different because
yeah, these look like
I don't
comfy,
like this
like
outfit.
I'm walking to set.
I don't like this outfit. She looks like a wicked witch or something, or like the headmistress of like a boarding school. I don't like it.
Lastly, we got Carrie. Oh, sorry. We got Carrie here. We already talked about this outfit, but a couple more kind of behind the scenes pictures were shown. She still has her cat, Shu, whose name is Shu.
Okay, that must be a spoiler for season 2.
It is, but can I actually tell you that spoiler? Fucking Che Diaz just brings the cat. She's like, this cat. I thought you should have it. So she just brought it. And then Carrie's like, I don't want a cat. And Che Diaz is like, but look how cute the cat. So then she like forces this fucking cat on Carrie, and then she's like, peace out.
Well, that'll be a conversation in about 2 months when we get to season 2 of And Just Like That. So we have seen this outfit before, but I love this whole situation. And then Amanda showed me this.
Yeah, I don't know who this guy's name is. I probably should have written it down, but it's some guy.
Is some that young man, kind of like Ashton Kutcher? I know it's not, but
he kind of it's a brown-haired, long brown hair, not long, but like longish brown hair with a brown beard. He's pretty hot. It looks like they're like dating because he's carrying her bag. It looks like
his whole look and hair and everything he has going on. I am very
love it. I really like the boots actually too.
That's what I'm saying. This whole thing, maybe not the Apple Watch. Apple Watch is rude and outfit.
Apple Watch is a little triggering actually to me too. I'm like, I get it. You have an Apple Watch. I think it's so dumb that you even own an Apple Watch, honestly, because you have your phone. Your phone is in the exact same hand as the watch.
I'll say I have an Apple Watch, and I never wear it.
If I had one, I would wear it for a week, and then
I was really into it for a while, and then I'm like, what is this even doing for me? It's actually making me more stressed because I'm like, oh God, what? Oh God, my thing isn't closed. I need to do this thing. I need to. What's my heart rate?
I don't want anything tracking my bodily functions at all. But that's pretty much it for news. And
I have high hopes for season 3 of And Just Like That, baby.
Let's get into the actual episode.
Watch them be dashed quickly.
So this is season 2, episode 6, The Cheating Curve. And it starts out with the voiceover. They say that most New Yorkers will attend an envelope opening. I already fucked that up. They say most New Yorkers will attend the opening of an envelope as long as the champagne doesn't run dry. But tonight's opening at Charlotte's Gallery for Yael, a lesbian painter from Brooklyn Heights, actually, the spelling error here. Something about the bad wine. Actually was better than the bad wine stale cheese routine. It was lesbian chic meets art world cool. A surprisingly fabulous combustion that no one saw coming. So they're at an art gallery. There's a setup. This is kind of Charlotte's show.
Setup?
Sure. And Charlotte's there with some dude that she's into, I guess. Miranda brings a guy from her Harvard alumni mixer that she went to, which I feel like Miranda would totally go to a Harvard mixer.
I thought the men in this episode were like severely lacking. It was like neither of the guys that like Miranda or Charlotte were like getting it on.
They both got too much backstory too.
They both looked almost the same. They could have been the same I was like half watching, but I like you could have just switched them out for me, and I'd be like, oh,
I would have never been able to tell. Yeah, but and then Carrie goes, my date for the evening was Samantha. Not entirely inappropriate given the circumstances. And then Samantha's drinking. She goes, nobody told me it was BY. Oh man. So
I can't.
So Samantha, they're looking around, and Samantha notices some guy, and she's like, oh, that's a trainer from my gym. So Samantha has Carol Brady hair in the scene. Super weird. Did you notice that?
Yeah, but that's kind of coming back, I feel.
I guess in 1997 or 8, whenever this was, I guess that was
Now, what were your thoughts on Thor the Trainer?
I thought he was pretty hot, I guess, right?
I think like those
I don't find
dudes are
working
hot
out
like that.
sexy.
I just do think that there's like a little too much like hairlessness.
Well, you know that I don't like a hairless guy. It's too slimy.
I
Too
think a
sticky.
bald
Hairy
down
guy.
there looks weird. It
Oh,
like it
I want a
needs
bald down
something.
there. I don't want any pubes.
Okay, you want people with body hair, but then no pubes.
Yes.
That is my nightmare.
Well, I don't want their
That
body
is
to look
a
like Robin Williams. I just want
nightmare.
a little, like, but also like
No,
trimmed chest hair.
I'm fine if you look like Robin Williams, but if you look like Robin Williams and then have a bald like patch down there,
So,
it looks
okay, that's weird.
creepy.
That's not what I want. But I
I
don't want
just
a
think
Robin Williams penis.
I think personally, I am a completely opposite of this of you on that. If you have any body hair on your torso and you have a bald area down
No,
there, it looks weird.
I
You
want your
need to have
balls to be
something.
fully shaved,
Okay,
like
balls can
shaved.
be completely shaved.
Okay.
But do you need a little what about a bush or
Okay,
like
that's fine. But they need to also keep it manicured. Is that
trimmed? Sure,
trimmed?
like
Sure.
yes, sure. Okay. I was
So we're on
thinking
the
you
same
meant you
page.
needed shaved bush
No, because
too.
what you're describing looks insane.
It's horrible. I've
Okay.
seen it, right? And I'm like, why did you do that to yourself?
Well, at
You
least
look
they care
really
enough
dumb.
about whoever their partner to keep
No,
it
this is not
nice.
a person who's trying to care about their partner. This is a person who's just having sex with people, random
Sure.
people.
All right. Well, anyway, she knows. So Samantha's like, I'm gonna go talk to him, and then Carrie's actually wearing what I consider a kind of iconic look here, just kind of a black, simple, sleeveless dress. But then she's got this big shawl that's navy blue, and it's crocheted, but with huge holes, like you could put your
Uh-huh.
arm through each hole. And she just looks really cute. And she feigns being sick, and she doesn't feel well, so she's gonna leave early. So then she shows up at Mr. Big's house. And they
She
start
does this a
making out.
lot. This is a common trope. This is a common Carrie trope
Oh,
is like,
choosing a man
leave
over her
my
friends? Yeah.
friends. Who gives a fuck about them?
Is it that episode? It's that episode, the one that you were about to watch, the one that you started watching? Is that the one where Miranda meets Steve after Carrie stands her up?
I didn't get to that part yet. It was the one they go to a wedding. The wedding of the people who
Oh, Miranda has the house guest.
yeah,
That's
Miranda's buddy or like past guy that she's trying to get with
that's a great
ends up meeting
episode.
her interior decorator and then they fall in
The
love like
interior decorator actress is famous somehow. It's like Carrie
oh.
Carrie Preston, Jamie Preston. It's a Preston. Anyway, she's in My Big Fat Greek
Carrie
Wedding.
Preston,
No,
isn't that Carrie's name when she gets married?
yeah, then that's wrong. I think she's one of the two sisters in I Say a Little Prayer for You. My best friend's wedding. My best friend's wedding. She's one of the two sisters.
Isn't that Cameron Diaz?
Yeah, but she's one of the sisters, Joan.
Oh, I don't think I've ever
Like,
watched that movie.
okay, well, what the fuck is going on? Okay,
I
anyway.
probably should.
That's a weird blind spot for you. Okay, anyway.
Is that a good movie? Is it good?
It's if you watch it now, it's gonna be really weird.
I think I was too young when it originally came out. And so
it's if you watch it in the terms of I'm watching a 90s chick flick movie, yeah, you'll like it. But it's very problematic in very many ways.
Oh, right.
Anyway, they start making out Carrie and Big, and she goes, "It was an aphrodisiac. I've never felt sexier or more alive in my life."
He looked hot in this episode.
I don't like him with the turtleneck though. That scene has always irked me.
I think I kept waffling. I was going back and I was thinking like, "Ooh, he looks really good in that." And then I'm like, "Wait, I don't think men should wear turtlenecks up to here." It just
no, it's just weird that Big would be wearing that because you've never seen him wear one before that, and I don't think you've ever seen him wear a turtleneck after this episode. I don't think this is the one time we've ever seen Chris Noth in a black turtleneck.
I just don't know who
in
wears
your own house.
black.
Are you wearing a sweater inside your house?
Yeah. I mean, I would. But I would go for like
You're so tiny and you're so cold all the
I
time.
like to put on like a little sweater. I like to wrap
But you
myself
don't even
in it
turn your AC
and
on
hold the cup of.
in
I
Phoenix.
have it running right now, and I keep thinking like, God, I'm still warm. I'm in a dead zone in my house for like there's no air vent around me. So like if I just was like 5 feet further that way,
you got some
I'd have
blast.
an
But
air
you gotta
vent
have that
blowing
picture
directly on
behind
me.
you though.
Well, if I'm right there, there's a window behind me.
All right,
I have thought about mixing it up, but like, I like some streamlinedness. But I thought I could put something like a little shelf here, so I could put some like little memorabilia things.
I think that's cute. Yeah, make it your own. Anyway, we're back to the power lesbians.
That's an off topic there, but
they she said they seem to have everything great. Oh, the power lesbian. They seem to have everything. Great shoes, killer eyewear, and the secret to invisible makeup. And so they have this group of lesbian friends. Now, I've never seen a group of lesbian friends where they all look like this. I feel like in my experience, it's a lot of it's not every this is all like super lipsticky lesbians.
I think that with this group though, they are rich and powerful.
Okay.
We probably don't have as much experience with like the rich and powerful lesbians as much as we do like the theater lesbians or the
middle class.
Yeah, exactly.
Middle class.
How about that? Exactly.
But also, so like the one woman in this, oh shoot, I was gonna write down her name and then I forgot. But we all know who she is, the African American one of the two main ones. She's in what's her name? She's in like Law and Order, I think, or something.
I don't know.
Or is she in SVU? She's in like one of those shows, and she's like the mortician or something, but she's like a regular. But she's also in that movie Flight with Denzel Washington. Have you seen that? It's it's a yearly watch for me. It's where he's a pilot and he's drunk and something goes wrong with the plane, so he flies it upside down.
Oh yeah.
She's in that. Anyway,
I did see that.
It's her and then some other person. But anyway, they're at this art exhibit and they're really into this heinous picture of like this female Jesus on a cross, kind of.
Yeah, it is not cute.
I mean, again, I don't know art. It's probably a super deep, meaningful picture that I've never seen. I wouldn't put it in my house. I'll tell you that.
The thing about that though is you could say it like anything could be meaningful. Like some art is just like nothing.
I saw a TikTok the other day where it was like a girl and she's like me and my friends posing next to art that we think that we could do. And some of them were just like a piece of paper, like a white framed.
Yeah.
And then like a line, like somebody just went
If you are a cynical person, I wouldn't go to a modern art museum.
Yeah, but I actually really respect modern art. It's just you have to explain it to me and then I'll like it.
I love all of it. I'll be convinced of anything. You could tell me that the fucking stick on the ground is a representation of this, that, and whatever.
But you'll have
and I
to
would be
tell
like,
me that first. I'm not going to look at that and see anything of it. I'm pretty face value.
I'm sure there's some layer to art that is a part of the art is the conversation and the community. And art is everything. Art is anyway, good God.
It's like theater for social change where you like go out. This is a class I took in college.
I love that.
The point is to go out and perform theater, but people around you don't know you're performing theater.
That would make
me find obnoxious.
Now, there was a cool thing they did, and still do it, like this youth theater here did on our light rail. They would do a show. Like we have a light rail system, which is like, above ground subway thing.
That would give me a panic attack if that happened and I out in the wild and that started happening in front of me. I would lose
it was really cool though, because you'd be like on these trains, like it was like it started at one station and then you'd go get on the train and then there'd be another scene that happens like on the train.
Sounds like a flash mob. Oh, okay. All right.
But it would only be like 2 people acting in each scene. So it wasn't like 50 people.
But did you know what was happening or were you like,
no, there were like,
this was naturally happening?
So it was set up with guides. Like there were guides and then there were the audience. So you kind of would like the guides held up a sign that were like, "Don't worry, it's just a play," or something, or like just a show.
Okay, I would like that actually then.
So then, like the public people that were involved, there were the really beautiful thing, and this is I'm gonna get really like cheesy art theatery person here, was people who probably don't experience that in their normal lives, or maybe just even in their head are like, oh, I don't like theater, I don't like this shit. That would happen around them, and they were so in it.
That's
They were
cool.
like watching, smiling, so as a person who I believe that theater and art is so important for everything.
There's this really cool episode of Girls. It's a really iconic episode where you know that true crime case of Kitty Genovese? It's from like the 60s, and she was a lesbian, and it was in New York. And she was walking to her house from the train, and some guy came and just like murdered her just for no reason, just because he wanted to murder someone. But it's where the bystander theory came from, where this entire apartment building all like heard it and nobody called the cops. But then there's a documentary about it where they explain that like, well, it was a lot of people that had come out of like a lot of Jewish people that had migrated there, and like people they're like, well, they didn't really want to like stir anything up. And then also there was no 911 back then. You'd have to call like a local police department. So it was all this stuff. But anyway, in Girls, Adam, because he's an actor, he does this awesome show that I would love. It's like immersive, where they took this like abandoned apartment building, and then the people just walk through the building, and it's the building of people what heard the murder, and they just get to walk to each apartment and see like what was happening in each apartment. And then halfway through the show, they like had the murder happen. I was like, that's a fucking cool idea.
Yeah, that is cool. I've been to shit like that. Like, I love immersive theater like that.
Yeah, I never saw Sleep No More the whole time I lived in New York. But I feel like they touch you, and I don't want to be touched.
Oh, see, some of those I worry that I'm like missing something. Like a Sleep No More situation where they're like multiple stories, like things are happening all over. I'd feel like I need to see each of those.
Nick had an audition he had a callback for Sleep No More.
I can't even imagine
it was
what that was like.
It was basically that he got there and they were like, just explore the room. They just watched them explore the room for like half an hour and then like cut people at random.
That reminds me of when I auditioned here for a production of Hair. After I had already been in Hair.
Yeah, I can see that being the audition for Hair.
There was that. The dance audition we did the dance. They had choreography, and then the last part of the choreography was that they wanted us to like spend. It seemed like 25 minutes. It was probably 30 seconds of us exploring each other in a clump of people. Like the choreography ended in like a group of people, and then they just wanted a improv.
Was this at least professional theater, or was this non-paid?
It was professional.
Still not
didn't
really
get it, Avi, but because
for the best.
Can you imagine me?
No, that would have been my nightmare.
Improv. I don't like that shit because I need a little more structure.
My idea of hell would be just improv. Like
I wouldn't have. I couldn't even imagine. Like, I think my fight or flight would kick in to where like I would just if I was forced to go up and do an improv show for like an hour, I think I would just probably black out and just do it.
I agree, and then I would sleep for a week after that.
Exactly. I would be horrified and just like I'd be embarrassed of whatever.
You'd have no memory of it afterwards.
I wouldn't even. What just happened? Probably wouldn't be funny or good because I'd be so freaked out. I just hate that. But if you can do that.
Yeah. No, when I auditioned for Voca people and I actually made it onto the thing, but then I told them no because they dicked me around for such a long time. And then that day I was leaving to do 9 to 5 in Florida and I was like, bye.
Guys, but Voca was like a thing where people were pretending to be aliens, right?
And it's like Blue Man Group, but with singing. And I loved it.
Acapella singing.
Acapella, but like, it definitely wasn't cool, but like one of the audition was like the 20th Century Fox like intro. It was like dun, 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 dun. Oh, now I can't think of it.
Did we know someone who was in that?
Yeah, one of Brad's friends was in it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So,
but it was a fully improv audition, and I made it all the way through. And each time I'm like, please cut me, and they kept me, and I did a good job. But then I went home, and Nick and my other roommate were like, "What happened?" And I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Exactly.
I don't know what the fuck came over me.
Well, when I was rolling around on the ground with strangers after a 2-hour dance rehearsal thing, sweaty and disgusting, baby. The last thing I look is sexy or sexual. I pretty much probably look like a friggin' greased pig being smashed around.
Awful.
Bowl.
What a terrible experience. What a theater. Being in the theater is not for the faint of heart.
God, no.
Back to art.
Perfect. Great segue.
Later, Charlotte. Oh, they're fighting over this heinous picture. That's why we got onto this.
Oh yeah, that ugly. It is ugly.
Picture. And Charlotte heads downstairs to get more champagne, and she just catches the guy she was with making out with some girl. So it's basically just putting Charlotte.
It was almost like they introduced the guy so fast that I almost didn't even realize that Charlotte was with this guy when she walks in.
My doorbell just rang. Hold on one second. I'm going to pause this. Dude.
Is it someone?
There are 2 children outside my window right now. There's a car parked in the middle of the street. My window's open. There's a car parked in the middle of the street. And somebody just rang my doorbell, and I looked downstairs out my window, and there were 2, like, they're still there. Like an 8 and a 10-year-old, like kids standing there. Like one of them is dancing around. I'm not going down
there. Are they okay?
Yeah, they're fucking fine.
Did they drive the car?
No, like an adult's in the car waiting.
What?
This is the ASMR.
Why in God's name would an adult stay in a car and send 2 children out to the door?
I don't know, but I'll tell you something. I'm not answering the door after that last thing that happened with Alice.
With the rug. I have a feeling like this is. Are you sure that isn't one of the kids?
I'm not. No, I'm not. You don't know sure. Of course, I'm not sure.
You probably know these kids. They're like, oh, this is my I'm. My dad.
Hang on, I'm gonna check.
My aunt and uncle is your cousin, and this is insane. Oh my God, this is gonna be on video though, so don't forget. Everyone's gonna get to see Amanda stand up in the video.
The kids, I think, are at least not where they were before.
Oh,
but the car is still there.
The kids are now crawling up the wall. They
just like enter my screen right here.
I watch way too many scary movies to where like I expect that shit to happen somehow. Like I'm like, oh my God, someone's gonna fucking like anyway.
Dude, like can we please normalize not ever knocking on someone's door unless a murderer is chasing you. Unless a murderer is chasing you.
Even then,
text them before you.
What are you gonna do? Like, so like let's say a murderer is chasing you. Someone is being chased to my door by a murderer. I'm supposed to open the door and what? Get murdered? I'd rather like, I don't know. See, karma's gonna get me on that one. Someday I'm gonna be chased by a murderer and someone won't let me into my house because they'll be like, "What do you want me to get murdered too?" And I'll be like, "Oh, I eat my words."
If someone wanted to murder me, they would just get to murder me because I can't run. I was
thinking. So we're off topic here, but last week, Quiet Place 2, Quiet Place Day 1. You know, she had the cat. I've now been seeing TikToks about people being like testing their animal to see if they would kill them in Quiet Place Day 1. It's like, would my cat let us die in Quiet Place Day 1 if it makes noise and stuff? And just yesterday, I was like, okay, would Butch like kill me in Quiet Place Day 1? And like in 1 second, she started meowing. I was like, oh, I'd definitely die. In Quiet Place Day 1.
Walter, woof, woof. Roof. Okay, anyway, let's get back to fucking sex. Don't teach your kids to knock on anyone's door.
I'm sorry. I think that's a Canadian thing. I think people just think that
I'm the weird one.
People are just nicer there, you know, and so they think like, oh, you know, we can just knock on.
And I hate that. Oh, my window's closed. Thank God. I closed my window because it's so hot. Thank God they can.
If someone knocks on my door, I'm not answering it.
Yeah, sorry. If my mom calls me, I'll answer it maybe 60% of the time. If it says mom calling. Later, all the girls are at the market, Joan, the farmer's market.
We're 5 minutes into the episode.
Yeah. And Samantha goes, well, so this is immediately smash cutting out of this guy cheating on Charlotte. And Samantha goes, relax. It was only your first date. And Charlotte's like, so doesn't that guarantee me fidelity till the rest of the evening? And Miranda, I just wanted to say her hair has like spikes still. She's got like the spiky red hair, but she's also wearing a royal blue shirt. And I just wanted to say she looks really good in like a blue, and like a royal blue. A dark navy royal blue.
Uh-huh.
What are you doing? Do you need me to pause?
I saw that. No. Keep going.
Okay. So Miranda looks good. Samantha says men cheat for the same reason the dogs can lick their balls, because they can. It's part of the biology.
So they're still at the farmer's market, yes?
Yes. Yeah.
So the part that I remember really distinctly from here is just their whole food business. They go up to these different stands, and then they end up at this one stand that it appears has like wrapped sandwiches, these like big wrapped sandwiches.
Oh yeah.
And then these like cups of lemonade that have
that's I'm like, I do not believe that all four of these women would be like, I'll get a lemonade. I'll get a 200 calorie drink.
There also was no ordering of this. The four women just descended upon the stand, picked up like the cups,
things,
took the straw, the lid of the like paper off the end of the straw, and started drinking these lemonades, which again had dome lids, on a liquid.
It's weird. Yeah, the whole thing was very strange. And all of them were pretending to actually drink it.
And then they're passing around, like Miranda's digging through these like saran wrap covered sandwiches, like passing them back. It's just, that distracted me. I was like, I literally didn't even listen to a word they were saying. I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
Well, anyway, so they're talking about cheating and licking your balls. And Carrie goes, well, but we're all forgetting the one thing here is that women cheat too. And Charlotte actually kind of agree with all of this. Charlotte's like, it's not the same thing because we don't just go after everything that walks past us because we're not driven by testosterone. And then I just wrote, I don't believe any of these women would ever buy and drink a lemonade.
So is she saying though with that like it's worse if a woman cheats on you than it is if a man cheats on you?
That's
like,
how I guess I would I don't know if that's what she's saying, but if we're following those lines, I think it is more meaningful for a woman to cheat on someone because it's more emotionally charged.
Yeah.
Than if a man, because I feel like there's a lot of foresight that happens before you embark on the act of cheating fully. Like there's thought that at least goes into it. And I think women think harder about it than men do.
I think men act like it's a thing where like, oh, I got too drunk and so I slept with this woman. And
but I think that they do believe that. I think they feel like that. Well, I'm sure I've said this before, but there's that study that was done where they asked men and women, what would you rather your partner do, have an emotional affair or just sleep with someone once? And like all the men said emotional affair and all the women said sleep with someone once. Like I would definitely rather my boyfriend sleep with once. Yeah, than have an emotional affair. That's way more hurtful, in my opinion.
I completely agree. I mean, I don't want him to do either because in my opinion, it's like,
also, I'm dead inside.
Then so don't be in a relationship.
Right? Yeah. True. Exactly. Tom Schwartz.
I fucking hate. Guys, listen to the weekly roundup from.
Yeah. John had another moment where he needed to just relax for a second. He got pretty heated.
I hate Tom Schwartz.
I mean, I
He's
agree
my
with
new villain. He's not
the worst one though.
He's not the worst. Maybe, but
Jax is the worst. Jax,
I think
Tom Sandoval is the most diabolical. Jax is the most truly like psychotic and sociopath.
I think though, weirdly, Jax at least knows who he is and says who he is, and
he knows
somewhat takes accountability.
Yeah.
Tom Schwartz instead plays off this act like, oh, Bobby, I don't know, Bobby. And then you say one thing to him and he's like, you're a drunk. You're just drunk. You're a terrible person. You've been a terrible person the entire time we've been together. I would reach across the table and choke your ass out if you told me that I was a terrible person the entire time we've been together.
Yeah.
I would want you.
Let's not relitigate this. Where are we? They argue about cheating back and forth. Samantha, Carrie thinks that there's a cheating curve. And Samantha says, the act
I
of
think this is a
cheating.
stupid. I
What?
hate this storyline for this episode, and I don't
Because they're
even
trying
think
to
it
tie it
makes
into Carrie
sense.
lying to her friends, which it's not the same thing.
But
It's
she
the act.
doesn't. She doesn't cheat in this episode, does she?
I mean, she does not. She kind of cheats on Miranda later about the dentist. But Samantha
Oh,
says
so they're trying to equate the. I don't like that. Doesn't make sense.
the act of cheating is only defined by the act of getting caught. One doesn't exist without the other. So I actually agree with that. I don't know if I agree with exactly those words. It's worded weirdly, but I think that you shouldn't tell your partner if you've cheated as long as that's not going to become anything. I don't think that anything good can come from telling that partner other than the fact that it's going to hurt. It's just going to hurt them. I don't think you need to. If it happens once, I don't think the person ever needs to know. What's the, especially if you're going to stay together. If everything's going good and you slipped up, I don't think you need to tell.
Here's my fear is I know myself, and I feel like I often find things out. I think I'm intelligent enough to put two and two together.
Yeah.
And so I almost feel like I know the times that in relationships I've been lied to.
Yeah.
And when I do find out and figure it out, whether it's a day later or 5 months later, I'm more pissed at you than you just doing the thing in the first place. Like the lying makes me more angry than doing it because that to me
I've
is more
said before
betraying
that
my
if
trust.
I said that a few months ago to you, and I think you thought it was stupid. That if I was dating someone,
Yes.
my thing would be, you can cheat on me as long as I never even like suspect it. Because if I suspect it, that means you're doing a bad job of cheating. But if you can genuinely just do a great job of cheating, and I always feel like things are going great, yeah, just keep cheating. But again, moot point.
I would think though, if you think that things are going great, would you need to cheat?
I don't care. I don't care what he does when he's away from me. I really don't care as long as I don't have suspicion.
Understand a need to cheat, in my opinion, because I just feel like then don't be in a relationship with someone. But that's coming from someone who doesn't. I haven't hinged my life on,
I don't
finding. That.
Well, like I said, to cheat, there needs to be a build up to that for a girl, at least. Like
you
I'm thinking
think though, if you were with your man and he goes out with his buddies and then he fucks a girl, don't you think that's cheating?
Yes, of course that's cheating. We're talking about different things. I'm saying like if I'm looking at all the shows that I've done and almost 100% of the men there and the women cheat on their significant others. They all do. All of them. It's just me watching this. Every
in
show.
musical theater.
In musical theater. So
yeah,
nobody is just hooking up like that. Like there needs to be thought and effort put into the cheating because that makes it more exciting for the girl.
Well, in those situations too, those are even worse. That's like a Raquel and Tom situation.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah.
That's even worse.
So you can't, for a girl, or at least for me, I wouldn't just meet a guy and then we're fucking 10 minutes later. If I was single, maybe. But if I was in a relationship, you need to put it out there with your body language and everything that, yeah, I'm interested through like eye contact. You don't just start fucking. You develop that. You emotionally cheat before you perform the act.
And I would suspect that a lot of the time when people cheat, they should have broken up before then anyway. Like their relationship is not in a good place anyway.
Yeah.
But now I know that there is also the concept of open relationships. I myself could never be in an open relationship. But if you want to be in one, now I'm completely do whatever the hell you want. If you want to have sex with 10 billion people, marry 50 million people, if it's all consensual, do whatever you want. I don't care. I couldn't do that.
I'm more interested I'm interested to see how these youths now that have grown up with these youths that have grown up with open relationships kind of just being a norm, with trans people being a norm, with drag queens being a norm. I'm just interested to see like maybe if you're born into that and it's just not even a thing. It's just open relationships are a way to go. I wonder if that would be less harmful for them.
I think that I probably wouldn't put that same stuff together as far as open relationships and drag queens or whatever, but like with the I feel, because I feel like kids will become more open with like drag queens, transgenderism, all of that, but I feel like there could be a flip on the relationships part where they've experienced so many people in open relationships, they see their parents try and do that, and they're like, I'm not going to do that, I want to be with one.
That's like and sister wives, every single wife is like, I will never do it again. Actually, Janelle said that she would do it again, but
Janelle said she'd go be in another
but that's because Janelle's very much like me in the fact that like she liked how it was with Cody only coming around once every 7 days, and then kind of doing her own fucking shit. But like, every single one of those kids is not going to go into polygamy. So
no, it's the pendulum swing of that. Like I could see that.
It's just interesting to see what happens with the new generation. People that grew up as a baby knew how to like, social media was always just there. Yeah. Having a cell phone was always there. That's like fascinating to me. But I guess I'm not going to try to get too deep here because I'm 10 milligrams into my night. Where are we? Actually, I think this is going pretty well though. Carrie says women cheat too. Testosterone, lemonade. Samantha works with her trainer. There's a montage where she's with her trainer and they're getting sexual.
And he's hot.
All I can smell watching this scene is just ball sweat and vagina.
Yeah, I don't like gyms. They smell in general.
But this I always remember being a funny line reading because it's a pretty
She's
obvious
like,
line.
Got me all wet.
Yeah, you got me all wet.
Sweaty.
Yeah. She delivers it in a way that is just, you actually heightened that line.
She makes what she says like believable. Like I believe this person is saying it, and there's a lot of people who could play this role, and I would be like,
they would lean into the joke too much.
Yeah.
Oh, you got me so wet. Oh, I mean sweaty. Like, but she says it like a normal person would have caught herself too horny in that moment.
Huzzah, Kim Cattrall. Huzzah.
Charlotte's on the phone with that dude, I guess, which we already forgot he existed, but he's trying to explain himself and he's like, please take me back. Yeah. Charlotte's outfit here is so cute and it's so like 1998, again, whatever year this is.
Okay, what was it?
Describe it to you. It's like a burgundy, and burgundy really looks good on her. She doesn't wear it a lot, but it's a burgundy kind of knitted, like short sleeve, I want to say, but then with a matching exact same color cardigan over top. So like that's all knit on top, and then black capri pants, and then these thick loafers kind of.
I know what you're talking.
And she just looks so cute and so comfy walking around because it's flat loafers, but very like they're probably Steve Madden.
I miss this part of Charlotte, which was like the art gallery curator,
like the job of Charlotte.
Like nowadays she's very.
She kind of goes back to it and just like that.
Oh. Does she ever wear flats and capris?
No, she doesn't wear flats and capris. She's always in a little A-line.
Exactly.
But the lesbians arrive, Joan, and
they've got money.
Honey. Ooh, they got money to spend. And one of them's like, I'm buying this. I'm here to pick up my painting. And then the other one's like, well, it's hers for 6 months. Then it goes in my apartment. I'm like, girls, this painting is busted. So neither of you need to worry about it. But they invite Charlotte out for drinks at G Spot, and my note here is everything that happens for the rest of this episode is not Charlotte's fault because they're like, please come with us, and she's like, no, I couldn't, and they're like, no, come out with us. So it's not really her. That woman doesn't need to be such a fucking cunt to her later about like, you can't hang out with us if you're not gonna lick pussy.
You can't reap the rewards of lesbianism unless you don't scissor us. Get to it.
Which I don't find is my experience at all.
I don't think so
lesbians
either.
That I know. They're you don't have to like pussy. But then also it seems like people are saying that she's leading on the blonde woman. But I feel like she would be able to tell Charlotte's obviously not a lesbian. She'd be able to sense that.
But
Charlotte's not doing anything to lead her on. Sorry.
I will say from the gay experience. I've spent plenty of time with straight men who actually never tell you they're straight, totally act
Who never tell you they're
flirtatious.
gay, but you can also tell that they are, though. Do you think Charlotte even gives any indication that she has lesbian tendencies? Because I don't.
It's hard to say because I don't know what that is.
I'm not a lesbian, even though I tried. I really tried to lean into it.
I think it's harder to spot a lesbian than it is a gay guy, personally.
Harder to spot a lesbian.
Yes.
That's true because the androgyny is such a
this is a touchy subject.
Why?
Because someone I'm sure would listen to this and be like,
well, they can fuck off. We're not saying anything offensive.
You're stereotyping gay people.
No, I'm saying that androgyny is kind of a look that people
I totally
have
agree.
now.
Trust
I could never
me,
do it.
I go out and
hair.
I know which man is gay all around me. I don't.
Right.
I'm zapping them.
Yeah.
So I get it, but you know,
I agree. I think lesbians are a little harder.
So I could see and sometimes I'll say as again a person who's had experience with men who are then straight, you can be wrapped up in their, flirting feels like flirting.
True.
There's a wavy line there, which
definitely.
Sometimes you're like, oh, Charlotte.
Well, and then there's also the fact that it's more socially acceptable to be bi if you're a woman than bi if you're a guy.
Oh, for sure.
Women are encouraged to just let's kiss.
I think it's also just generally more socially acceptable to be a gay girl than a gay
Oh, definitely.
guy.
But hopefully that'll change.
Someone
with these
might
kids.
disagree. I don't know. I wonder.
Okay, so are you? Oh, Miranda's storyline is that she's dating a guy who loves porn. I don't even think that this is that crazy of a storyline. I also think
the liking porn is fine, but needing to have it play and rewind certain parts when they're fucking you, I wouldn't really.
One of my exes, who I do actually love and adore, did enjoy having porn on while sex was happening, but once I made it pretty clear that I wasn't really into it, then it stopped immediately.
I feel like having porn in the background automatically is going to elevate your situation and make everything you're doing feel smuttier or something.
Agreed.
It's which
can be kind of
okay, sex. But I don't want to be doing that every day. It's
agreed.
Extra. That's porn is very sexual.
I love the porn that they're showing is nothing. It's people kissing. Yeah, it's barely softcore. But anyway, this guy also has a porn addiction. I think
he's not cute.
He's not cute, but also I was wondering. All of these episodes have been about how Miranda is just terrible in bed. So I'm wondering maybe this guy's like, hey, you want to watch some porn and see how sex actually can be hot?
I thought it was interesting that Miranda had a part where,
Miranda has a boyfriend at all.
No, kind of skipping ahead in this episode. They're Miranda's yeah, I thought I was a lesbian. Or people thought I was. I can't remember.
I was a lesbian in 6th grade. I kissed this girl. It was pretty good. It's it's not a funny joke when you say it because you're so clearly an actual lesbian.
And then she comes out. See, that's where I don't believe that if she later in life thinks she's a lesbian, I don't think she would have. See, I'm trying to
exactly. That's because and just like that retconned the entire series, and then just like that, therefore, is not canon.
She wouldn't have made that joke because it would have been a piece that she was trying to not be putting to the surface. Hey guys, I used to be a lesbian. I don't think
agreed.
She would do that.
Anyway, so now we're at this fondue scene. Now there's something about this scene that is just triggering to me for no reason. Today I figured out something else that was triggering to me only, for no reason. But somebody was driving in front of me, and I just watched them. They were just passing this way, and they went over a speed bump, and both of the people, the driver and the passenger, going over the speed bump, their heads kind of bobbled back and forth, and it really, really triggered me as something that just genuinely and universally irritates me. Okay. This scene is akin to that. It's always been something that me watching it.
Is it the turtleneck?
The turtleneck's not helping, babe. And it's the way that she puts the bread. She's made fondue. She puts the bread in his mouth and he goes, ho. And the way he holds it in his mouth, everything about you're looking at me like this hasn't triggered you your whole life.
I
That is
don't remember
absolutely
enough. Like, I can picture
Oh
it,
my
but
God,
I'm not
okay.
like, ugh. What
Everything about it.
triggers me is that she fucked up a whole pot of fondue.
How do you even fuck up fondue? It's melted cheese and like beer.
It looked fucking good.
Yeah, it looked good. Take
But then
a
it
bonk
ended up
it, Big
being
and
that she
Carrie.
fucked it up. Womp,
By the way, we
womp.
said on our episode, our weekly recap. By the way, guys, join us every Monday live at 3:30 Mountain Standard Time. What are you doing?
The YouTubes.
Well,
I was thinking we could put out a poll. Is 3:30 a good time?
Because people seem to tune in like 30 minutes into it, no matter what we're talking about. I feel like that's when we get most people. So now that Jody's coming back and Sister Wives are coming back, we might have to change the time anyway. We'll figure that out later. But we said we should do an episode where we just talk about like our disgusting food, like all of our girl dinners, and do like a collab with other podcasters, or just all of you guys write in. Maybe we'll just have like a girl dinner week.
Send us in some ideas.
For like maybe the fourth that we're designing women used to be, we'll just have like a free for all. That
one idea I really have been wanting to do is a thing where we're like in pajamas in bed.
I mean, that's what's happening on the bottom half of me right now.
I don't know. I just think that's like a Pod in the City after dark.
Bad angles if you're lying down though.
Well, I would definitely like angling
I would sit up in bed. Yeah, it'll be like pillow talk. Where
I think that, I don't know. The visual of that, I think it's just so cute.
Sure, I'll do that. Any
slumber party
to get closer to sleeping. The fondue scene. No, it didn't bother you. Didn't bother you, I guess. Never has not bothered you for so many years.
I was really wrapped up in the turtleneck because I kept going back and forth. Do I like this? Do I not like this? Do I like this? Do I not like this? I know it would be soft. I know it's cashmere. I just know it. You know he feels good. And trust me, if this man was in front of me looking like that with the turtleneck, I'd be
Do you know that if I put on a cashmere turtleneck, like it's ruined immediately because I'm immediately sweating. I'm uncomfortable. I'm angry because I'm hot. Like, how do you even like? I feel like those kind of sweaters, especially turtlenecks, are made like or certain
you need
types
to be
of
skinny.
Not even skinny, but you need to just
I didn't mean that.
You're good. You need to have the type of temperature where you're always not just comfortable, but you need to be constantly freezing.
I don't understand it at all. I can wear like a sweater maybe twice a season.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I can sometimes wear a long sleeve.
Yeah, but not in my house even. But I know you're very you get very cold.
I get really chilly.
Teenies. Okay. The truth is Carrie feels bad for lying. Or no, they go out for the fondue is apparent somehow bad. So they go to some restaurant and they discuss how this is actually a good scene. They really do have good chemistry, especially on these one-on-ones. But she's like, I haven't told my friends that we're back together again. And Big's like, neither have I. And she's like, well, why not? And he's like, well, no, he goes, neither have I. And Carrie goes, well, that doesn't count. You don't have any friends. And he's okay. What I'll say here is Big's like, Big seems already pretty super chill. He's openly admitting that they're back together. He doesn't seem to be hiding it or embarrassed by it. So really, all of the reason that they broke up, if Carrie had just chilled the fuck out a bit, they would never have broken up in the first place.
I kind of forgot why they even broke up.
Because she wouldn't introduce him. He wouldn't introduce her to his mother at church.
But then the girls later are like, he treated you so terribly.
Right. Which and I'm like, didn't.
Wait, did he?
He's always been nothing but nicer. She asked him to stand in one place with her for a while. So he did. Everything she's asked him to do, he has done. She just needs to let it breathe for a fucking second.
I also think that we people in general have a tendency in a relationship to expect the person to do or think or say exactly what you think or feel that they should say or think or do. If you're following what I'm saying there, of like,
but also people meet you emotionally where you are, even if they're not quite there, you expect it to be like this.
People's expectations sometimes of their partner are like, it's like you're upsetting yourself because you think they need to be doing something that they're never going to do.
Well, it's like Katie and Schwartz again.
Okay. But he could be nicer to her.
No, I fucking agree with that too.
Plus, again, I'm going to sidebar here though. What are the things that Katie asked him to do that were different? Not cheat on her?
Stick up for her and to his friends
like,
when they call her
like those
bitch.
those are things you should want to do.
Oh my god, breaking news. Jody just got her router installed.
Wow.
Thank
the
God.
curse is over, y'all. The curse is over. Oh. I know. Well, people are fiending for you guys.
Although I didn't really mind the 2 weeks off. That was fucking sweet.
No, I think it sounds great.
Yeah, it was amazing. Anyway, Samantha.
People are fiending. You guys are like celebrities.
Well, it's because Sister Wives is coming back soon. Everyone's.
I had one of my friends, like the only friend of mine who actually listens to our podcast.
Oh yeah.
I saw her on 4th of July, and she was like, "It's like weird seeing you because like she's not someone that I talk to every day, and like but she's like, oh my god, it's weird seeing you. It's like you're like a celebrity or something after because I listened to you.
That's cute.
Because I listened to your thing, and I'm like, oh my god, that's
how I felt when I like hung out with Jason Powell after I'd listened to his podcast where I came to New York.
I get that.
Like, and I was buzzing the whole time to only talk about Lady Watch. Like all I want to talk about is Lady Watch, and I kept trying to bring it up in like subtle ways. He didn't seem really into it. Anyway. Carrie, are we back? Is that the fondue's over? And they seem like they're getting along. All the issues are gone. He's taken her out in public again. This is all her fault. Next morning, Carrie is doing the walk of shame home, smoking. She runs into Miranda, and Miranda's like, "What are you doing up here?" And Carrie's like, "Oh, I have a teeth cleaning." And Miranda's like, "Oh, yeah." And then Miranda says,
like at 7 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, 7 a.m.
Like, yeah, I just like to get it over with. And Miranda's like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And she's like, "Well, you're dressed really nice for a teeth cleaning." And she's like,
Carrie says laundry day, which I would never. I'm like, I don't believe that on anyone. You don't have a single other outfit to wear.
I also don't. I can't even picture Carrie Bradshaw washing her clothes.
No, she would get pick up and drop off for sure.
This is a lie, and I do think this is stupid. Why is she like? I'm shocked that they have stood by a friend like Carrie as long as they have, because for me, if my friend continually centered everything around themselves and on top of that lied to me about shit, I'd be like, why are we even friends then?
Also, I feel like she could have gotten away with this by saying, "Oh my god, I hooked up with this guy last night. It was crazy." Like, just say that. Miranda doesn't give a shit.
I don't. Again, I kind of don't. Well, I kind of don't understand why she's lying to them in the first place.
God, but remember that scene in Running with Scissors? Second time we brought it up today, in where Carrie's and Big go out of that hotel, and then it's Carrie and then Big and then Charlotte, and then Carrie's in the middle. Oh no, Big's in the middle. And like Charlotte catches Carrie and Big cheating finally, and it's Big standing on the stairs, and then Carrie and Charlotte staring at each other, and it's like her comeuppance, where she's I can't. You forgot.
Mom. I'm gonna have to relive that moment.
Such a good episode. Oh well, it's great.
20 years later for the first.
Carrie says, "I felt bad. I've never lied to Miranda before," which I'm like, yeah, right, girl. And she goes, "The truth is, I was cheating on her and all my friends with Mr. Big." Well, I mean, she did also lie to Samantha about being sick at that art gallery thing.
That's what I'm saying. She's constantly lying to her friends. It's stupid.
And for something like she's making it bigger than it needs to be.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Why not just tell them in the first place?
Because Big wasn't even an asshole to her.
But even then, this is not, like I said earlier. If you lie to me, I am more pissed about the lie. Like, I don't know what that is. I'm more pissed that you fucking lied.
It's diabolical that way.
It's like because you knew what you did was wrong. That is why. Why. When people lie, it's because they usually know that they shouldn't have done it.
Samantha fucks the trainer, and he shaves her legs and vagina.
He's like, "Can I shave you?"
I don't find this. She was like, "Ooh."
Have you ever been shaved before?
I mean, I just don't think and I don't think it would be sexy.
I kind of think
weird.
I feel like I've had a situation like this before. never where someone shaved me into like a fucking lightning bolt, but I've been involved in things where like in a haircutting scenario and
okay, but this I don't find also I don't even believe Samantha would ever even need to have her legs shaved. She's getting
I
waxed
do
like
not
every
believe
week.
that she would have such a full bush and such
That's the other thing. I
that
don't
she
believe
would
she has
be
a
able
bush
to
at all.
that he'd be able to carve out a lightning
But it
bolt.
does track though, Joan, because in that episode where she dyes her pubic hair, where Carrie's like eating macaroni salad in the bathroom, and Samantha's, I found a gray hair. And
Even
Carrie goes,
then,
in the salad.
I don't believe that she would have that much. I feel like she would have it lasered
Right.
off or waxed.
Especially if you
She'd
just
have
dye it
a
a weird
weekly
color.
waxing, like an upstanding waxing appointment.
Right.
For sure.
But we're going with the fact that she's got bush. But
enough to carve into a fucking lightning bolt.
Enough.
And she's like, I'm so special. Thor carved me. Or Thor shaved me into a shape.
Yeah, later. So Carrie's apartment, all the women are going out for a night on the town, and Miranda and Samantha are both dressed in like business attire. It's like working girl up in
I can't remember.
They're both just wearing like blazer sets with skirts. I'm like, what is going on here? And then Charlotte arrives also wearing like a blazer set and just her hair in a headband. And Samantha goes, you didn't have to dress up for us. It's like, in what way is she dressed up? She's dressed like the rest of you, and you all look insane.
I just think, yeah. Nowadays, they wouldn't do that at all. They'd all each be in an eccentric, over-the-top outfit with 50 accessories.
Well, and Samantha's talking about her pussy. She's like, you can't, it's not like it was anymore. You can't just let it grow wild anymore. So I guess in the 90s, maybe this was a thing. We were edging out of bush more into into naked puss.
Like this was the introduction. Like they started talking about waxing like Brazilian waxes,
it was a new thing.
And they're like, "Oh, we've got to talk about it in the episode."
Let's talk about pussies. So Charlotte says she's not dressed up for them, silly. She's going out with her lesbians later, and she's like, "I like hanging out with them. They're funny and smart, and their lives aren't complicated by men." And then Miranda and Samantha are like, "You have to tell them that you're not a lesbian." And Samantha says that she's just a clit tease. And
I mean, it is kind of asinine and a really stupid line to be like, "Their lives aren't muddied up with men," or whatever the fuck she says. Like,
really, that is what I would like about hanging out with lesbians, though.
Like lesbians don't have relationship issues. Like, are we for real?
Oh well, that you're for sure. But I mean, having no men involved.
You know what, that I agree with. As a gay man, I even agree on that.
Samantha says, "You're a clit tease. You can't expect to move to Wonder Woman's island and not go down." Carrie, in the meantime, is in the bathroom, and she says that her diaphragm is stuck. And can anyone help me?
Which I was like, huh?
Yeah. And Miranda has this really funny line. She's like, "You mean while you were out getting your teeth cleaned this morning, your diaphragm was stuck in you?" She's very cute because she's still completely clueless.
Which I guess they had this happen, so they had a reason to. Like, this was the reason that she had to tell them. Yeah, because then it's like,
because why did you have your diaphragm? And again, she just should have said, I fucked some guy last night. Come on, Carrie.
If she really wants to lie, she's a bad liar.
She's a bad liar who lies. So hang on, I lost you now. There you are. Okay, so Carrie's like, can somebody get this out? Miranda says that she would, but she's not very dexterous.
You take my diaphragm out?
I would totally take someone's diaphragm out. I think that would be fascinating, and I think it would be hilarious. No, I think it would be really funny for everyone involved. I think it would be a hilarious story that we'd bring up like all the time. I would tell everyone.
If you had to get your diaphragm pulled out?
Or if I pulled out someone else's diaphragm, for sure. Look how many girls are wanting to tell us about their queefing stories. We need to talk about these things more. But Samantha,
let's get to that story.
Samantha says, Samantha shoots the rest of her martini, and she goes, "I just had my nails done." So then now the ladies are walking on the street. And also, I actually do feel, though, that if you had long nails, that would be a little more ideal because you can kind of get more in there and just kind of,
Wait,
a diaphragm is kind of like it's almost like a female condom.
God, I forgot for a second.
Nice long nails. like
I'm
grab onto
thinking
it.
probably not. I feel like it has to be more of like a finger hook action, like you got to get a grip, like the tip. Your
Maybe.
fingertips got a grip on it, like
Yeah. Actually, yeah, a nail might start feeling like a
it could
pap
be like.
smear. Like they're like, yeah, that might hurt a bit. Anyway, well, maybe I'll find out one day. But anyway, they're walking through the streets now and they're like, why do you have a diaphragm in again? And then Carrie admits that she's back with Big. And the way she even says it is kind of, she's like, it's something that started and I knew you guys were going to get mad, but it's Big. And then Charlotte's like, he was such an asshole to you.
I absolutely love when someone lies to you and then blames you for them lying.
Preemptively.
Oh, I've had that before. Oh, well, I knew you'd be mad at me, so.
Exactly.
So you're stupid enough, so I'm double mad at you? Awesome.
Well, now Carrie gets pissed and she's like, you know what? I don't even feel like going out. So now they have to be like, no, Carrie, come back.
I would just be like, bye, bitch. At this point,
yeah.
I'd already just be like, whatever, handle your
Also,
shit.
now you know that the 3 of the other girls are now just going to talk shit about Carrie the rest of the night. Great. That's the best night ever. So at home, Carrie's just walking around her apartment smoking, which again, her apartment walls must just be crusted in smoke.
I mean,
Charlotte
and all of her clothes would definitely smell
for sure, because the closet's just kind of open and right in the center of the apartment. Charlotte attends this lesbian brunch and she gets invited to a summer house in Telluride. And she meets this woman, Patty Aston, and they have this pussy conversation. Basically, she's like,
are you gay? She's like, no, I'm not, but I just love art and these women in the community. Well, if you're gonna, you can't.
She goes, that's all well and good, but unless you're gonna eat pussy, then you're not a lesbian. And so I guess that means you're not invited with us anymore.
If you're not gonna eat pussy, then you're not a dyke.
Oh, then you're not a dyke, okay. But that's not what Charlotte was indicating. So it's like, so what do you say? Can I not come to Telluride then? Is that
I think it's more like it's an exclusive group, and if you don't eat pussy, you're not in our lesbian.
Okay, well then is it just going to be a huge lesbian orgy? I mean, I wouldn't attend that because I feel out of place, but why can't I just go and hang out with you guys?
I could understand slightly, because if you are in a situation where you don't want men involved, you don't want someone who is then going to possibly bring like any involvement of men.
Sure, she's gonna start bitching about her.
They're like, we don't want to hear about some man fucking you, girl. No, and I'm not saying. Sure. Now I might be being presumptuous, but.
Well, I think it's a really far shot to take here, where it's like now, and Charlotte never hangs out with these women again, as far as we know. She's been kicked out of the group.
I guess. It's a nice one episode storyline.
Now at the gym, Samantha's in the steam room, and this naked girl who I feel like this woman did not. I looked at her IMDb. She's been in like 4 things, and one of them she just has to have her tits out. I feel like that's really shitty. She did not need to have her tits out here. I would be irritated. She could have had like a towel.
Just thought she didn't need to. Well, she couldn't have had a towel because she had to show the muff. She had to be showing her puss.
Well, she could have had the towel on, seen Samantha's puss, and then stood up and like done the open towel.
Oh, that actually would have been better.
Yeah, because now I don't need to know what your nipples look like. They're good looking boobs. But anyway, she looks down at Samantha's puss, and she stands up and she just shows Miranda her puss, and she goes, "That asshole!" And I'm like, who the fuck cares? Do you think he was your boyfriend or something?
Well, he did say that he doesn't do it with every.
Okay, but are you putting all your hopes and dreams on that? On him saying that as you're fucking.
Who the fuck knows?
So dumb. But anyway, that storyline.
I mean, anyone who thinks that they're the only client of a personal trainer getting dicked down, I'd say you're an idiot. Unless you're like a supermodel, and even then, they probably have a power kink, and they want to fuck anyone who's willing to.
Totally, and the reason that they do is because they can. It's like dogs lick their balls. Oh. So Carrie and Big now, Oh, Miranda's storyline is wrapped up with the porn guy. She basically just gets up in the middle of the porn and she's like, "You need to choose me or the porn." And he's like, it's more complicated than that. I've only known you a couple weeks, but some of these porn women have been in my life for years." And she's like, "I'm out of here." And then he just puts on porn and I guess jerks off.
Well, I mean, it's pretty clear, like, she isn't enough for him, so that's fine.
Yeah, she sucks in bed. We've seen that week after week.
Well,
so Carrie and
hard
Big
to
now
compare to a
dance.
porn star.
Yeah. So Carrie looks cute in this outfit. It's kind of a sparkly A-line strapless, navy blue sparkles, and they're
There's a lot of
dancing.
navy blue outfits in this outfit,
Yeah, a lot of
in this
navy. She looks,
episode.
I like it. Carrie and Big dance, and she goes, "Answer me this. Why did we break up?" Such a girl thing to do too. Like,
Really?
"So why do you love me so much? Answer me this. Why did we break up?" And he goes, "You tell me. You're the one that left me high and dry with 2 tickets to St. Bart's." She goes, "Well, you didn't say what I wanted to hear." And he goes, "Oh, is that it?" And then she goes, "I guess I was afraid." And then he goes, "I can this would make me cream my underwear if I wore underwear." He goes, "I can tell you one thing. I sure did miss you officially." And then she goes, just a guy saying, I a guy like Big, imagining him sitting in his apartment, even like thinking about me. That's pretty
Completely
fucking hot.
agree, because he's got real shit going on, and he also seems
Exactly.
somewhat aloof sometimes. So to
Yes.
think that this aloof guy who's like powerful and etc. is like thinking about me, oh yeah, I would be
Like he
like,
missed her. And then
okay.
she goes, "Oh, did you cry?" And he goes, "No, but I did listen to a hell of a lot of Sinatra." I just got chills because I mean, I'm banging you on the dance floor right there. Like, that is hot.
Yeah.
So that's the
But
end of the
like, what kind
episode.
of Sinatra do you think he was listening to? Like My Way? Like Carrie
I
leaves him and he
when
listens
I
to
was
My Way?
17. Oh, he actually sings that to her later. Um, a lot of Sinatra. I mean, also that's also kind of hot too because he doesn't. He says that he didn't cry, which is so manly of him. But he's basically saying, "I didn't cry, but I came as close to crying as I would." Just him sitting in his apartment, smoking a cigar and drinking scotch and listening to Sinatra.
I can't even imagine that life. I wish I was classy enough to just like to be able to just like lounge and like just like
Sit with your thoughts.
listen.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Not having I am up out of my seat every 30 seconds.
I'm like la da 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 da. Let me look at
Yeah.
this screen, that screen. Today I figured out a way that I could watch things on my phone while playing a game on my phone. I didn't realize
Oh,
I
I've
could
done
play
all
a
that.
game
Yeah.
and watch something. I was like, damn, that's
Do you want
dangerous.
to anyway, I love the episode. Let's get into
Thanks,
our
guys, for the
emails.
Cheating Curve, season 2, episode 6.
We're going to read an email. Again, if you want to send us your salacious or embarrassing sex stories, email us your sex stories at patcpod@gmail.com.
Alrighty. And now we do share these anonymously. So this is an email we received. It's a story for you guys. LOL, long-winded. Maybe not the vibe. Hope you like it. All right. Changed their names so you can say them. LOL.
Yes, that's right.
Once I was hanging out with my friend Emma at a drug dealer's house, drunk after shotgunning Molson Canadian cold shots. If you know, you know, Amanda.
I actually don't know what that is. I'm not a beer
Melissa,
girl.
who I knew a bit through Emma, texted saying we could come to where she was. I could tell sober Emma was over my shit and wanted to go home, so I got her to drop me off to Melissa, who was with 2 guys at a house. When Melissa and her guy went to bed in the basement, I went to bed with the other guy, who I would decided was cute after having just met him an hour before and drunk yapping his ear off. We had sex multiple times for way too long, then fell asleep. When I woke up, I was relieved to find he wasn't in bed and I didn't have to make awkward conversation. I texted Melissa, hoping she was eager to get the fuck out of there, but realized her phone was dead. So I went to the living room, hoping everyone was awake. Instead, I found Buddy I'd slept with alone on the couch watching ESPN. He welcomed me to watch sports highlights with him in silence for the next 40 minutes. Nightmare.
Yeah.
While we waited for Melissa to wake up. No, bitch.
Oh,
I would
I'm
have
putting
I
my
would have been
face
like,
in
get
Melissa's
up, wake up! We're out. I could have gone to the basement to grab her or called a cab, but we weren't super close, so I was trying to play it cool.
Oh, that is awkward then.
I also had no idea where I was and didn't want to ask, LOL. Finally, Girly came upstairs to drive of shame me to my car, but I couldn't find my shoes. When I asked the guy if he'd seen them, he said, "Oh, you didn't have any." I had left I had left the drug dealer's house and arrived wearing no shoes. Perfect. Melissa drove me to my car, left in a hockey
I love
rink
that kind of
parking
chaos.
lot.
I love it. Because you're not hurting it. No one got hurt in the situation, but that's just a
And
really
like
funny
the
little
no
detail.
shoes, like, are you just don't even
I don't know
notice at
any
that point, I
situation where I
guess.
wouldn't be wearing shoes. Because even in my house, I immediately put on house slippers, and I
Well,
have upstairs slippers and downstairs slippers.
I'm highly aware of things, so I couldn't walk barefoot anywhere without being like,
Heights, yeah.
Melissa drove me to my car, left in a hockey rink parking lot surrounded by crushed cans, and I drove home wearing no shoes.
This person must be from Canada, right? Did she say she was from Canada?
I think so, because this drink she said at the beginning was
Molson
Canadian cold shots.
Okay, and then the hockey rink.
Yeah, she parked
one on every
outside of a
corner
hockey
here
rink.
in Calgary.
I surprised Melissa later by telling her that had not only been my first time watching ESPN, but also my first time ever having sex.
Oh yeah, I remember reading that.
She surprised me by telling me that the guy I'd fucked, his dad, had just passed 5 days before that, and that the house and bed we'd been in had been the dead dad's.
Perfect.
I didn't see this guy again until 7 years later, when my husband got a job at the same place as him. We all went to a wedding and had a great time together. At one point, I thought he was looking at me making the connection, but I still have no idea if he ever placed me as the rat girl with no shoes that had been his pick-me-up.
Honestly, I don't think I would recognize. There's probably 10 people that I've slept with out there that I would never like. He would have to explicitly tell me, like, this is how I met you and this is where we fucked. Like, not that I had sex with that many people, but like, I can see how that wouldn't be anything that would stick in his head.
Unfortunately, I have a few more than 10 that I know I would have no recollection of.
By the way,
not because I was drunk or anything, just because of my bad memory.
Because it was insignificant, really, to me.
I do want to leave it. There was a small note at the end here. It says, "Note, I was beyond ready to lose my virginity and had a good time. You don't need to worry about me. LOL." So don't feel like she got taken.
I wasn't worried. I knew you were fine, girl.
If you're listening here and sending us a letter, we feel, you probably got your shit. Right?
Yeah, you got your shit.
If you're
I looked up what
here,
Molson Canadian cold shots are.
Yes.
I think it just has higher alcohol content, and it leads to a fuller flavored strong lager with a more notable dense malt sweetness.
Ooh.
Okay.
That would.
What percent? It's 6%. It's not a lot, is it?
That's not much high. I think most stuff is like 5%.
5%, right?
Anyway, well, guys, here we are. The end. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it, and now it's time to say
I know you're a huge Timberlake head over there.
I fucking hate that guy. So that's the real tragic thing, is that he always is going to be connected to ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
And I do love McDonald's. Well, anyway, that's it, guys. We love you so much. Make sure you check out
Coke from McDonald's. It's the beast. I was thinking Walter was gone because he's in his bed.
Yeah. When it's hot, he doesn't really like sleeping in bed. He likes having his stomach on like the hardwood.
Yeah,
or he's just being weird.
Me too. When it's hot, I like to pull my clothes off and like face down on the tile and really soak up.
Yeah, in New York, I lived on a 3rd floor walk up, so it was hot and no AC. And Polly Walnuts, my cat. Did you ever meet Polly Walnuts?
No.
He was we got him lucky, but he was a huge cat. But he would just lie on the ground, like stretched out along the baseboards, and then I would throw frozen bags of like peas on him, and he would just lay like that for like an hour. Because I read online it was just like frozen vegetables on him, and he fucking loved it.
I saw a TikTok just today where it was a person who took towels and put like washcloths and made them wet and put them on their cats to cool them off. Yeah. And I'm like, Butch would never. Good God.
Oh no, my cats would call me.
She would run away from me. Anyway, guys, do all the shit. Like this,
Patreon.
subscribe, Patreon, all the shit.
Engage, baby, engage.
Yeah, I'm it's been a lot of talking. So we love you guys so much. And I do want to leave us with a little bit.
And then
that wasn't it.
No, remember you can't do it at the same time. You can't do it at the same time, remember?
I think I deleted the
Okay, well, I'll just play the roundup thing at the end, but just go ahead.
All right. Just let you guys know, nothing lasts forever. Dreams change, trends come and go, but friendships never go out of style, darling. Bye-bye.
Bye.